All that and more as we get up with you. Starting right now. Here we go. Let's go. Shafty is ready and rolling. EJ is up and pumped and ready to go. Mike T is here to make a few deals as we go along, and Mel will come along as well. Lots of football on the program today, and a special visitor from the National Hockey League coming up as well. But we begin with the play-in last night. We got the 9-10 games last night on ESPN. Mavs and Kings. Would this Dallas season that's had so many ups and mostly downs come to an end? Very definitively no. Klay Thompson was having none of that. He went nuts on the road in the second quarter. Klay Thompson in the second quarter in Sacramento last night scored 16 points. He was 5 for 5 from the floor. That one gave the Mavs a 14-point lead. Then it's Anthony Davis getting in on the act. Mavs by 20. Next Dallas possession, same score. It's AD again. Davis and Thompson combined for 24 points in the quarter. They outscored the Kings by themselves. They opened a 23-point lead, and they really never looked back. Fourth quarter, it's a 16-point game. That's Klay again. He would score 23. Midway through the fourth, Mavs put it away. Anthony Davis, 27-9. It's been a tough couple of months, but it was a real good night for the Mavs. They got one more shot to try and make the field. The Kings go home. Mavs will play the Grizzlies on Friday. Winner will go on to face OKC in the playoffs. History is against Dallas. No 10th place team has ever made the playoffs since the current play-in format was adopted 5 seasons ago. For what it's worth, Memphis won 3 of 4 head-to-head meetings this year, though one of those was the final game of the season and pretty much nobody played. So we'll see what happens on Friday. We'll show you the East game a little bit later.
Let's ever gotten out of the play-in and into the playoffs. There's something about Anthony Davis in this play-in, though. He's played 3 of those career games going into last night. None of them with Klay Thompson, though. And Klay came correct in the second quarter. Perfect. 5 for 5 from the floor. 16 points in that quarter alone. He said, I just wanted to shoot until I missed. Luckily, I didn't miss. Anthony Davis, a triple. Mavs up 20. Davis is like, man, come on. He's undefeated in his playing career, in good position to continue that trend. Three-pointer. Anthony Trevis? No, we'll work on it. Davis and Klay combining to outscore the Kings by themselves in that second quarter. Dallas was plus 25 as a team in that frame. Really just blew the doors open, and that's Klay to the rack. After a 0 for 10, 0-point performance in the play-in game against these Kings last year. Klay atoning. Davis, meanwhile, turnaround jumper, yes. 20 points at least in all 4 of the play-in games he's played. Went for 27 and 9 boards last night. Mavs 120-106 winners. They get Memphis tomorrow night on ESPN. Senior Anscape writer David Dennis Jr. is who we get this morning on Sportscenter. David, listen, what does this win mean now for the Dallas players?
Yeah, the Dallas players and their fans absolutely needed a win like they got last night. About 48 hours after that embarrassing, borderline and insulting, idiotic semi-press conference by Nico Harrison where he insulted pretty much everybody in the Dallas metropolitan area, the Mavs players went out there and said, we are not going to give up on this season. We are going to give you guys something to cheer about. But I want to hone in on one player in particular who this means a lot to, and that is Klay Thompson, who we don't talk about enough as somebody who was absolutely screwed by the Luka Doncic trade. This guy left Golden State and went to Dallas, and Nico Harrison at the time said, we're one Klay Thompson away from a championship, which is a comment that has aged like a banana in the sun. And this guy had all of those chances at the possibility of a championship stripped away from him, and now he's fighting for a play-in, and he goes out there and has that game that he has, explosive second quarter in the same place where he scored 0 points. This is a big, big game for Klay and a big sort of showing by this Dallas Mavericks team that we are still going to fight, even though we have a front office that is a disaster right now.
You could tell it meant something to Klay. You really could. I mean, he said as much after the game, talked about atoning for the previous season. Meanwhile, Dallas still has one more game to win to make it from the play-in to the playoffs. What chances do you give these Mavs in Memphis against the Grizzlies tomorrow night?
So, look, on paper, I would say, yes, Memphis has the edge here and the advantage against this Mavericks team. But this Memphis team is so inconsistent. They're 6-11 since they were the 2 seed. Now you have Brandon Clark out. Now you have Jalen Wells out. And you have a Mavericks team that is motivated, that feels like, hey, we've beaten OKC a couple of times without Luka. We can make some noise in that first round. And so, you have also going into this game, Ja Morant. With that ankle injury, they're beaten up. They played a tough game against that Warrior squad. This is a Memphis Grizzlies team that is absolutely vulnerable against this Dallas Mavericks squad. The Mavericks can pull this thing together and be the first 10th seed to work themselves into the playoffs.
We said it right now, man. It's never happened. That bouncer working the door for the 10 seeds to get into this playoff club has been stingy at best. The fight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern from Memphis on ESPN tomorrow night. David Dennis Jr., thank you.
All right, what about that 9-10 in the Eastern Conference play-in? Maybe a 10 seed can advance from this game. Death taxes and the Heat dispatching the Bulls in this play-in. Listen, if Miami and Tyler Hero win, it'll be the third consecutive season that has happened, though. Chicago 3-0 against Miami in the regular season. Tyler Hero doesn't care. 16 points in the first quarter. He was perfect. 6 for 6 from the field. They were up double digits going into the second. It's Andrew Wiggins rolling the screen. Bam Adebayo. I'll take that. Heat are up a quarter at this point. Next Heat possession is Tyler Hero rolling the screen. Bam wasn't there, so he'll do it himself. 23 points in the first, 8 for 8 from the field. He would eventually miss a shot, missed a couple of shots. Bam ain't gonna miss this one. Steals the inbound. 15 points, 12 boards, but it was the defense from Bam specifically holding Chicago to 3 for 12 from the field when he was the primary defender, and then Tyler getting up. 38 points. He was 13 for 19 from the line. Heat won this thing wire to wire. They never trailed. Now they get
His play-in game experience out of the mud. He's here with the Mavs, taking on the Kings. Let's show you what it was a year ago, exactly 1 year ago, April 16th, 2024. His Warriors, his struggles. 0 for 10 from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line. He said human nature. When you end a season on a sour note like that, you want to come out and prove people wrong. He did last night. He's back in the building. And that jumper, shooter's roll.
Friendly bounce.
Back on the map. He in the beautiful three. Clay got another triple. He's dialed in, made 5 threes on his night. In the second quarter alone, 5 for 5. He said, I knew once I saw one go in, I was going to shoot until I missed. Luckily for me, I didn't miss. 16 points in that quarter alone, and then in the fourth, kept it rolling. How about backdoor cut to the rim, got that to go?
Yeah, that was nice.
A lot of contact. Maybe could have been a whistle. Mavs up by 18. Who knows how the game would have changed on that whistle. He had 23 points. He was plus 31 in the game. It's the 4th best all time by a player in playing game history.
Tyler Hero is for the Heat what Klay Thompson was for the Mavericks last night. Miami trying to send Chicago home for the 3rd consecutive year in this play-in. It's your 9-10 out east, and Tyler was creating. He was cashing. I'll tell you one thing he wasn't doing, missing. He hit his first 8 shots against these Bulls. He was doing it from every which way. You see him getting things done in the paint. There were 4 Bulls defenders on him. Didn't matter. And then pulling up from distance. Eric Spoelstra said, after this game, hey, Chicago humbled us this year because they won all 3 of the regular season matchups. Tyler said, Chicago in the regular season, we won every single one of those quarters in the regular season, but we just couldn't finish those games. And then Tyler distributing the pill like a good pharmacist does. I mean, that's just too easy. Miami as a team shot 50% from the field. Meanwhile, Chicago, they shot 39%. Tyler, first Heat player to go 8 for 8 from the field or better in the playoff or play-in. Let's move to the 4th, where Tyler still hot, even though it's real cold in Chicago. They held the Bulls to 90 points, which is their lowest offensive output this season. Tyler Hero went for 38. He had 5.
Lộc nhưng mà nó làm anh tốt tính lắm. Ui giời ơi. Đó cả đầu.
Đấy. Thì ở nhóm chung bây giờ toàn các ông bà mà ông bà đấy sự mà.
Nó vô kêu gì? Chào và mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng, và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là
ông chung đấy sao mà ghét thế?
Mọi người vòng của mình có tiêu đề là
Người ta làm gì mà ghét thế?
tổ ong. Nó thẳng nhà thằng Hoàn không chịu thích.
Thì ra là thế.
Thì ra là thế.
Thì ra là thế đấy. Thật là không ngờ.
Là không mà nhỉ.
Hay vậy. Bà bóng cục kỳ ghép cà về. Ghép cà về. Cái nắp tình xưa.
Ôi trời ơi, dễ quá. Chị con.
Nói hay. Lúc khó lại nó kêu.
Mắt tao mấy hôm nay kiểu bị làm sao á.
Chưa rồi.
Ở hai cái đầu mắt nó cứ tự rát, xong nó rớt nước mắt rớt không thể nào ngừng luôn. Càng rớt càng rát. Không điên đến người. Thế cho nên mấy hôm nay tao mới phải đeo kính không?
Nó có thằng nào đâm khỏe đấy.
Mắt được.
Nhìn khó nhỉ.
Mắt đâu. Trong hình dung này gọi là này xuống trước đã. Xuống đây. Đi rồi. Đi.
Ôi sao lúc nãy tao vừa quay cái điện thoại này sang để cho đỡ vướng thằng Long mà giờ nó đã ấp trọn ở trong đây rồi.
Đấy.
Đi lúc nào đâu.
Đẩy ghế dịch vào một tí thì không thấy.
Rồi, người chị rồi.
Tí tao quay xong tao lại quay sang một ít.
Nên sóng truyền hình cũng nổi tiếng mà Long.
Không thích. Thì nó không quay mặt chứ. Còn chơi kia mình phải quay mặt nhưng mà nó không quay đâu.
Quay cái gì?
Ngày trước tao mới vào đây tao không biết gì đâu, bảo ra làm thì biết ra làm thôi, xong ra là lắp luôn cái điện thoại, quay luôn.
Quay luôn. Anh viết xem cho anh quay luôn. Không nói gì à? Đấy cứ đây anh bảo cứ làm như này nhé, đấy cứ bật video lên.
Lấy lúc đấy hai chị em ra nhá, còn đùn nhau rồi nha, còn đùn nhau không muốn quay ơi, hồi tàn ngồi là chả biết gì, ngồi vào, ui nó quay luôn với ghế. Nó quay luôn được mấy hôm ấy, xong tao nghỉ ốm. Em cứ bảo là bây giờ nó đang lấy video của em làm rồi, giờ chỉ cần quay mặt thôi, em cứ ốm em cứ ra ngồi làm đi. Mỏi mỗi lần đấy không ngồi dậy nổi, điên hết người á, như chết ở nhà. Ôi không được.
Hay lắm, nói câu hay lắm.
Nghe bây giờ đến màu hồng nha.
Có đang chơi trò kia hay mà.
Chơi game thấy game nhắn là game chán.
Ôi là cả nhà đi giữa. Ông Trưng đi. Lúc đấy thấy anh Kết ở nhà mà tưởng anh Kết không đi. Bảo hỏi chị An đi đâu, chị An làm Hà Nội thì hai vợ chồng đi chơi đâu.
Thế hôm qua ở đây có gì không?
Qua làm gì có gì đâu.
Thế mà bàn nhau mua bánh ăn các thứ như thật.
Nói gì không.
Mày tin được?
Không tin thì tao mới không ra.
Thế
Mà có ra tao cũng không ăn.
Nhà ăn bánh của ăn đâu. Mua bảo là chị ăn ốc không để đi ăn mấy hôm nay làm gì có hứng mà.
không có hứng là không ăn sự.
Không thật biết thật không có hứng. Mình cũng ăn được, trừ những món cái pịa gì đấy, đừng nói cái câu đấy ra.
Chứ cái món này không ăn đúng không? Chưa được.
Mình tiếp tục sẽ làm màu trắng tiếp nha. Thôi chả nói nữa đâu, mỏi lắm.
Nó không nhịn được ngoài cổng. Thế tuần sau ấy tập thì biết mọi người sẽ ra sao. Thì lúc nào cũng phải gặp nhau ở đây.
Nó không ra này nào.
Bọn chị cũng đến cái thời điểm thời đỉnh điểm rồi, là phải ôn thi rồi.
Đi thi.
Chị không biết một cái gì đây này. Nguy cơ đúp rồi.
Hôm nay là thi gì ấy?
Hôm nay thì địa thì sử.
Giờ em đi chơi nhỉ cho nó
Được chưa? Cái nhạc nó vang.
Dí háng vào cái cây đó thì nó giật điện chứ.